For this video, we're going to talk about what we call our library of functions. And our library of functions are we're going to use, we also really call those parent functions, and we're going to use those to complete transformation and piecewise functions in upcoming lessons. So when we do this, we have these general functions that every mathematician should know. And we're going to hang on to these functions, and you're going to see how they're created. But really, they're created just from plotting points and taking each function, evaluating the equation for a different x. So we have a couple examples right here of transformations of each one of these functions. And if you look here, one of the things you want to be able to do first is identify what is the parent of the function. So when I look at this right here, I see that this function has the base of a cube in it. So this is what we call a cubic function. Now, all I'm going to do is evaluate the cubic function for every one of these different x's. So for instance, using function notation, I have f of -2. Well, that just means you plug in -2 here. And -2 minus 2 is a -4. We're going to go -4 cubed, that's a -64. Plus 1 makes this a -63. So here when we evaluate it, there we got -63. We do -1 next. So f of -1, plug in -1 here. -1 minus 2, -3. -3 cubed is a -27. Plus 1 is a -26. F of 0, well, 0 minus 2 is -2. -2 cubed means -2 times -2 times -2. That's -8. Plus 1 is a -7. Then we have f of 1. Plug in 1. 1 minus 2 is a -1. -1 cubed is -1 times -1 times -1. That's just -1. Plus 1 is 0. And then finally, we have f of 2. Well, 2 minus 2 is 0. 0 cubed is just 0. Plus 1 is 1. So we're going to be able to create the function by doing things like this. And the next one we have, if we look here, we have a fraction. And so the fraction is going to be part of our reciprocal or the rational function. And when we look at this right here, again, we want to evaluate these different numbers. So I'll do f of -2 first. And when I do this, I have 1 over -2 plus 3 minus 3. Well, when I do this, -2 plus 3 is +1. So that's 1 over 1 when I calculate this. This is just 1 over 1 minus 3. And 1 over 1 minus 3 is equal to a -2 because 1 over 1 is just 1. So this is -2. F of -1 is equal to 1 over -1 plus 3 minus 3. This right here is -1 plus 3 is a +2, so that's just 1/2 minus 3. Now remember, when we have fractions, we have the common denominator, so we need to turn this 3 into halves. So I just need to multiply 3 by 2 and I get 6. So this is just 6/2. So that's 1/2 minus 6/2. That is a -5/2. So this is just -5/2. F of 0 is equal to 1 over 0 plus 3 minus 3. So this is just 1/3 minus 3. And again, we need to convert this number right here. We need to convert this number right here into a fraction that has thirds. So multiply 3 by 3, we get 9. So this is just 9/3, and it's equal to 8/3. We can do our next one, which is 1. So f of 1 is equal to 1 over 1 minus 3. Plus 3 minus 3. So again, 1 plus 3 is 4, so that's equal to 1/4 minus 3. And again, we need to convert those fractions, this right here, to a fraction. So 4 times 3 is 12. So that's just 12 over 4. That's equal to 11/4. And then finally, we need to do f of 2, which again is 1 over 2 plus 3 minus 3. And that's equal to 2 plus 3 is 5, so that's 1 over 5 minus 3. And again, converting to a fraction, convert this fraction right here, we get 5 times 3 is 15, so it's 15 over 5. And realize this, all you're doing is you're doing 15 divided by 5, that's still 3. So you just made the same number, you just found a different way to write it. And this is equal to 14, negative 14 over 5. By the way, these other ones should have been negative as well. This one should have been a negative. This one up here. This one right here should have also been a negative. So let me go back and put negatives on these. And this last one is negative 14 over 5.